Hey everyone, it's Raj from 3CB. Over the weekend, Leeds United defender Koch took a clash of heads from Man United Scott McTominay and went down and was assessed by the training staff, and after a quick assessment allowed to return, and they told him if he had any more symptoms to then go down. About 15 minutes later, he did just that, and he was clearly signaling with his hands, like a blinking motion, like he was having trouble seeing. You could see he was just discombobulated in general, and now the player will be in concussion protocols. This incident is yet another example of some of the issues with concussion protocols, not only in the Premier League, but across football in general. We've seen this happen in World Cup finals, and we see it quite frequently when it comes to head injuries in football across all the leagues. Medical and training staffs often get a lot of grief for this, but they're often bound by the protocols of the league that they're in. In the Premier League, there isn't much time to do a proper assessment for a player and then be able to make those decisions. And then there's also a lot of pressure involved in those decisions. Whenever you have to make quick decisions on complex symptoms under a lot of pressure, it can lead to mistakes and knock-on effects. So there's three key things we can really do to help change the protocols and improve player safety when it comes to head trauma. The first, and this is something that the Leeds United training staff has come out and said, is temporary substitutions. Allowing for a temporary sub so you can take that player off and actually give them a proper assessment, which for concussion can take upwards of 10 minutes and needs to be done in a quiet, calm environment, which is really the exact opposite of what being on the pitch in front of a roaring crowd with all that pressure is. Secondly, there's possibility of video review where that incident can be reviewed by training staff on the sidelines, and also you can flag previous incidents that may have been missed. Rugby used this system quite well for just that, and it's been used since 2016. Thirdly, and perhaps most effectively, but probably the hardest to implement, would be the use of independent neurologists to make these decisions. That would take away a lot of those pressures from coaches and staffs because they're able to make these decisions without any attachment. We've seen the NFL, the National Football League in the US, do this, and it has worked quite well. The reality here is that something needs to change. It shouldn't take a drastic event of a player who is allowed to stay in the game and then suffers another concussion or head injury, and there's a term called second impact syndrome, SIS, which can be fatal, for rules to change. There's enough examples now, and there's enough data and research on the risk of this for these protocols to be changed, and hopefully momentum can keep building towards those changes, because the brain is a terrible thing to waste and we have to protect it, especially in these cases of a concussion where symptoms don't show up quite right away, and we have to give these medical and training staffs more time and the proper conditions to make these decisions.